hope you enjoy your armor. I'm glad Heren let me make something decent for a change.
Welcome. Oh, it's you. Please leave. And if you have any more scales, you can shove them. Just leave.
It is begun.
Aren't you chilly, Sten?
Chilly. I don't know this word.
It's much warmer where you're from, isn't it? Don't you feel cold?
I suppose.
I don't imagine we can find a cloak in your size, can we?
What?
Nothing. Don't mind me. Now, I wonder where I could get a skein of good wool yarn.
I must say, dear woman, I rather like this change in you.
That's nice, but I'm not sleeping with you.
Oh, I can think of many things we could do other than sleep.
Oh, then let's see what's in those trousers. I like to make informed decisions, after all.
Oh, that's rather saucy of you, isn't it? You really have changed.
Yes, I don't see those trousers coming down, however, do I?
You just want me to show you right here?
Why not? Aren't you the shameless Lothario you claim to be? There are rumors about you elves, and I intend to see them proved untrue before I even consider a tumble.
On second thought, perhaps you've traveled to an awkward place where I dare not follow.
I thought as much. You remind me of Lady Cecily.
Who?
She was an Orlesian lady. My mother served her until she died, and Lady Cecily let me stay instead of turning me out on the street. You are like her in some ways. You have the same poise, the same air of nobility.
Oh, child, I am hardly noble.
I learned that nobility isn't just something you are born with. I have met nobles who are very petty and mean, complete degenerates. Then, there are people with a certain dignity and grace. It draws you to them, no matter who you are or who they are. I think the lowest peasant can have the most noble spirit, and it will always shine through. It is this nobility of spirit that you share with Cecily.
Why, thank you, Liliana. It is very kind of you to say that.
When? Is this yours?
Oh, my bag of components. Thank you, dear. I was wondering where it got to.
You left it by the fire at camp.
Oh, yes, I remember now. How age creeps up on you and brings with it forgetfulness.
You're a great mage, Wen, and you're sharper and wiser than many people I know. Some young ones, too.
Oh, but you should have seen me 15, 20 years ago. The fires have dimmed somewhat since then. But thank you, Liliana, for picking up after this old lady.
You are not religious, yes? You do not believe?
I do, to some extent. It does not govern my life, however. Why do you ask?
Oh, nothing. You are just a very good person, and it shows. And I thought at first you were religious like some of the revered mothers. But no. I thought about it and I realized that you're not.
I do what I do because I enjoy it. Because I enjoy teaching others, helping them. I do not seek recognition for my works. I do not seek the approval of my peers, nor the approval of a distant god.
That is admirable, doing good for its own sake. Some I knew were not like that. They bragged about what they did, trying to impress others. Oh, Lady Adele, you fed and clothed 20 orphans. How noble. No, it's nothing, Lady Clarabelle. You treated 40 lepers and gave them massages. Like a competition with false modesty. Sickening.
Did Lady Clarabelle really give 40 lepers massages?
Who knows? Lady Clarabelle had strange tastes. I wouldn't be surprised if she did that and more.
Do you miss the cloister much? I heard you were quite happy there.
Yes, I was generally. It was peaceful and it gave me a new start. No one knew who I was. But sometimes I am glad I am away and back on the road. There were bothersome things about the place. Well, bothersome people. Some of the brothers and sisters would talk to you like Like the chant they spoke was more pleasing to the Maker. Oh, I hated the way they talked down at me. So sometimes I forget the words to the chant, or say them wrong. But so what? The Maker looks into your heart, so it doesn't matter what your lips say, as long as your heart is true.
I think you're missing the point, my dear. The chantry believes the chant of light should be spread around the world. You cannot spread it if those that are speaking the chant are speaking it incorrectly.
But I came to the Maker before I had even heard all of the chants. The Maker speaks to people. They just don't know how to listen. It is all a power game, I think. If they convince others they know more, then they must be respected.
Child, it is precisely this kind of talk that made them wary of you. Opinions that differ from your own are always threatening.
So I imagine it has been some time for you, Liliana.
Some time for me? I do not know what you mean.
Some time since you last knocked boots, shall we say? You did just come from the cloistered life, no?
Of course it has been some time. There are more important things in life than knocking boots, Zevran.
Oh, I'll not argue that. I simply mean that the body has urges. Urges given to us by the Maker. Yours must be considerable after all that time.
That is a very personal question.
I mean no offense. I simply offer my services should you ever feel the need for release.
You kind to think of my well-being, so Zevran.
Let it never be said that I am not available when the call for help goes out.
It is sometimes so hard to believe that you have been through so much at such a young age.
I think I look younger than I am.
Yes, that is possible. When I was your age, I was just about ready to take on my first apprentice. In hindsight, perhaps I should have waited a few more years. I was arrogant, my confidence bolstered by my youth.
It is so hard to imagine seeing you now.
Oh, I've had some 2 decades or so to grow mellow. Believe me, back then I was quite prickly.
So you are like a fine wine, yes? Losing the raw edges over time.
I suppose there is some truth to that analogy, but dear Maker, I do hate being compared to wine. Or cheese. Especially cheese.
So what is it exactly that the Sisters of the Chantry do for amusement?
Do they not have sisters in Antiva, Zevran?
Naturally. Yet we are hesitant to speak to the sisters back home. They are Atia Negrano. How do you say it? Pure, not to be spoiled.
And you would spoil them just by speaking to them?
You really have no idea, do you?
I wasn't born in the Chantry, Zevran. Sisters, we had many ways to pass the time. Work, for instance, and prayer.
No time for leisure at all?
I was not there for idle pursuits and pleasures, Zevran. I was there to contemplate my relationship to the Maker.
And that's it? Sounds bloody boring.
What did you imagine your Antivan sisters did exactly?
Well, in Antiva, the Chantries make much of the wine, so I suppose I assumed they drank it.
I doubt that very much.
And there goes one childhood dream. To think I once longed to be a brother. So tell me of this vision of yours, Liliana.
I'm not certain I wish to discuss my vision with you. You'll make fun of me.
No. Why would I ever do such a thing?
See? There you go. No, I am not speaking to you of it.
Yes. I suppose the Maker would not want you to spread his words. Very well, I'll accept your reproach.
Why do you even wish to know?
Why, to make fun of you, of course.
You are utterly impossible.
On the contrary, I am often told how very easy I am, my dear.
These markings of yours, they have a certain appeal. They remind me of how we used to paint our faces in Orlais.
Ah, but these are not just paint.
Do they mean anything to you, these symbols?
Some do. Some symbols are sacred to the cross. I am not permitted to tell you what they mean. Others are there to accentuate the lines of the body, its curves and musculature. It is hard to explain with armor and clothing on.
But I don't recall seeing many markings on your body.
Ah, no. Of course not. They are not in the places you have yet seen. I can show you if you wish.
No. I think not.
Is this a problem?
Not at all. I merely contend looking at the markings on your face, that is all.
Have it your way. Should you change your mind?
You'll be the first to know, don't you worry.
So come now, I'm serious this time. Tell me of your vision.
Certainly not.
You've told the Grey Wardens of your vision, have you not? Why them and not I?
You said that you intended to make fun of me. You actually said that.
It was funny at the time, but come, surely you can see I'm serious now. I honestly wish to know.
That's too bad. I honestly don't wish to tell you.
Then I suspect you don't even believe in your own vision.
What? That's not true. I do believe in it.
Then you would stand by it, no matter what the consequences.
Do you intend to make fun of me?
Well, yes. I can't help it.
I simply...
I know. Terrible. You know, Win, I have a friend back in Antiva who would be very excited to meet you.
I'm sorry?
Salvail prefers women with experience and maturity. He says they have more substance, are more robust and flavorful.
Does he now?
Indeed. No need to deny it. Zevran knows a fine bird when he sees one.
I am not a bird.
There is no reason to deny yourself the pleasure of male companionship, after all, yes? You might balk now, but I assure you, Salvail is a gentleman of means and quite handsome.
I am going to walk away now, calmly, coolly. This is to save you the pain of having your brain forcibly removed through your ears.
This must be a Ferelden thing, I swear. You know, I've heard stories about your Circle of the Magi, my dear Win.
Is that so?
There is a circle in my country, of course, but perhaps things are different here. I visited the Antivan Circle on official Crow business once, met a beautiful young apprentice who was very eager for a taste of the outside world.
Please, please get to the point.
All I wonder is whether the Templars guard the mages here as closely as they do in Antiva. In Antiva, the Templars watch the circle like a jealous husband guarding the chastity of a wanted bride.
Interesting metaphor, but yes, it is not too different in Ferelden.
And is it also true that when the moon swells to fullness, the mages of the circle gather at the top floor of their tower and, naked under the stars, make love to each other?
What? No! Maker's breath.
Oh, I found out recently that it was not true in Antiva, and hoped that it would be in Ferelden. Alas.
Have you changed your mind yet? Are you willing to speak seriously?
Of your bosom? As you wish.
No, I do not wish to speak of my bosom.
But it is a marvelous bosom. I have seen women half your age who have not held up half so well. Perhaps it is a magical bosom?
Stop talking about my bosom.
But I thought you wished to speak seriously.
I do. I thought, however foolishly, that you might be willing to speak of your past.
We could do that. There have been many bosoms in my past, though only few as fine as yours.
Enough. I'm ending this conversation.
It must be a wonderful thing to be able to weave spells.
Wonderful. To you, perhaps. Most do not feel the same way.
Oh, what do they know? They're just jealous. The Maker gives you magic. You must use it. You do it so effortlessly. It's like breathing for you. I wish I had such talent.
But you do. You have your music, your dances. You are more graceful than anyone I've ever met. I think that perhaps the Maker gives us all magic, but of different sorts.
I never thought of it that way. I suppose we all have our little gifts. Back in Orlais, I knew a noble lady who was like most of the other noble ladies, fair of face and slow of wit. Anyway, Katerina had the most uncanny ability to tie knots in the stems of cherries using only her tongue. It was very impressive. The men especially loved watching her.
Yes, that's exactly the sort of Maker-given magic I was talking about.
You know, Alistair, Antiva has a long tradition of royal bastards.
You don't say.
Oh, yes. They've led wars to claim the throne. Some of them have become kings. In fact, I'd say the current royal line in Antiva stems from bastard blood several times over.
Well, aren't you just chock full of useless trivia today?
Sadly, whenever a royal bastard rears their head in public and declares themselves, it often goes poorly for them.
Let me guess. They get assassinated.
Only the very popular ones.
And the unpopular ones?
Well, they get by somehow, I'm sure. There was one fellow who did quite well working as a prostitute based on his uncanny resemblance to the king. Charged a fortune.
Couldn't afford him, I take it.
That cynicism will serve you well, my friend. Hold on to it.
Do you think the tower is ever going to get back to what it was, Wynne?
I don't know. A great number of people died. It will be difficult to imagine rebuilding, with that cloud hanging over everything for many years to come.
Do you think you'll be there? To help rebuild, I mean, once this is all over with.
I cannot say. Even if I survive this blight, I am a very old woman, Alistair.
Why? Because of some grey hair? You are a formidable woman, Wynne. You could see that it happens.
I think you overestimate the number of years I have left. But perhaps you were right. Or perhaps the memories of what happened there will be too strong for me to face.
I have a hard time believing that.
Well, it's good to have someone that believes in me so. Now, if I could only feel the same way myself, that would be something.
It shall be done.
So, let me ask you something. What are your intentions with her?
You speak of her as if she is not present. She's just right over there, you know.
Don't dodge the question. I'm serious.
Is this brotherly concern I detect, or something else? Perhaps you're concerned for me, yes?
I'm just asking what your intentions are. You did try to kill us all, remember?
And now I owe her a blood debt, as she has spared my life. It has brought us closer together.
Is that a smirk? Are you smirking at me?
I assure you, sir, that I am not smirking. No smirking here. No.
Well, just watch yourself, then. I'll be keeping an eye on you. So, you know that I'm a Templar, right?
I believe what I heard was that you were not, in fact, a Templar. You were trained as one before you became a Grey Warden.
That's right, but I still have all the abilities of one, of course. That doesn't make you nervous.
Should it? I am no apostate. Perhaps you should be directing this question at Morrigan.
She claims not to be afraid of me, or anything, really. But you've had more experience with the Templars than her. I know how mages can sometimes...
The Templars serve a function, and a necessary one. If what has happened at the tower proves anything, it is that we mages can be dangerous, even to ourselves.
That's one way of looking at it.
And regardless, you seem like a decent enough young man. If you decide to slaughter me out of hand, I'm sure you would at least inform me first, no?
Oh, sure. Count on it.
You have not asked me about my conscience for some time, my darling Wynne.
That is correct. And I am not your darling.
So once again I am rejected, just as I am by the cruel, cruel fates. They are harsh mistresses to the elves.
Zephyrin, I am old enough to be your grandmother.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
And what would you do with me if you had me, hmm? This is a game you play, nothing more.
Ah, you are a cynical woman, Wynne. Cynical and powerful. It drives me mad with desire.
I am going to walk away now.
So, are you a very religious man, Alistair? I'm curious. I believe I heard you say you were raised in an abbey.
I was raised in a castle. I was schooled in the abbey. As far as being religious, I don't know. Not especially. What about you? Not in your line of work, I expect.
Why do you say that? I happen to be quite devoted in my way, as most Antivans are.
Truly? But you kill people. For money.
And I ask forgiveness for my sins from the Maker every chance I get. What manner of monster do you think I am?
But you ask forgiveness and then you go right on with your sinning.
The Maker has never objected. Why should you?
I have no idea.
Well, there you go. Perhaps you ought to think about asking for a little forgiveness yourself, huh?
Alistair, what's this?
It's a sock?
It's a filthy sock. How did it find its way to my bedroll?
Maybe it likes you. Socks are sneaky like that. Anyway, it's not mine.
It has your name stitched on it.
Oh, part of Templar training back at the Chantry, the men were always getting their socks mixed up. Anyway, sorry about that. I'll take it from you right now. One of my socks is feeling a little damp anyway. A change would be nice.
You're going to put it on? It's filthy.
And dry. We're not exactly traveling in the lap of luxury here.
What hideous habits you've picked up.
So, tell me, you have any children, grandchildren, I don't know, great-grandchildren?
What would make you think I have any children at all? You have to know I've spent most of my life in the circle of magi.
You just seem like the grandmotherly type to me, I don't know.
I suppose I'll take that as a comment on my demeanor and not my age.
Mages aren't forbidden to marry or anything, are they? It's not such an outlandish question.
Isn't it? What sort of man would marry a mage, do you think?
Well, how about another mage? There are just as many men as there are women within the circle, as I recall.
That sort of union is not encouraged. Although that does not stop us from seeking out each other's company from time to time.
All right. Suddenly you don't seem quite so grandmotherly to me anymore.
Good. I would hope not.
So I have a question for you, Zevran. You're here, at least in part, to get away from the crows, right?
That is indeed true.
So when this is over, what do you intend to do with yourself? You can't go back to Antiva, I assume.
What I do depends in large part upon your fellow Grey Warden. I am not a free man, as it were.
Yes, but what if you could do whatever you wanted?
Why should I go anywhere? You Grey Wardens are the epitome of charm and hospitality.
So you do intend to go back to the crows?
I said no such thing. I think I should stay where I am. Ferelden is a marvelous country.
Why don't I believe you?
You're not much of a patriot, are you? Well, I'm not going to listen to such slander of my new home. Off with you then.